friends, it's Komenda here, and today I have a brand new layout for you with a super cool collection. I am a fresh mom of teenager. My daughter turned 11 in December, so we are starting to get those teenager texts, moods, like, it's everything new to me. So I am super excited to have this collection in my stash because, well, some of the quotes in this line are just like took away from our home. This is some things I hear a lot from the sayings and quotations, so I thought this line is just made for me, and I even didn't knew I needed it. I snapped few pictures of my daughter texting on her phone with her friends. Yeah, this is also something new to me because she's starting to get into this online community. She's chatting with her school friends, and before that, it was mostly playing with dolls and teddy bears, and now she's almost grown up. So I snapped those few pictures. She was very like, Mom, what are you doing? Go away. So I was even more into snapping those pictures. So she started making faces, and I thought this is the perfect moment to scrapbook about it, about me being the embarrassing mom. Luckily, no one saw it. And this is something I have to learn too, how to be even more embarrassing and embarrass her in front of her friends more often. I started with a paper with diagonal stripes, and I added a strip cut it out from one of those papers with Polaroid frames because I thought it looks like an Instagram feed, and it reminds me of like an online word and presence. And because of the diagonal stripes on the paper, I had this idea to kind of pimp up a little bit the composition, and I decided to do it everything on the angle, not not like the edges of the layout, which would be like the most obvious and simple way, but I decided to tilt everything a little bit. But even though I changed the angle of the usual composition, of course, it's not like it always has to be like this. There are still some rules that I have to kind of follow if I want to have my page being balanced. Usually, when I scrapbook, I try to keep two crossing lines under the 90 degrees angle. So even though sometimes they are just the edges of the layout, so we have like parallel lines to the edges of the layout. In this case, I'm not treating the edges of the layouts like guidelines. I made my own first line, adding the strip of Polaroid frames. And now the line that goes from the top to the bottom, accordingly to the Polaroid frames, is my first line. And the second line is the line that is, I'm looking for an English word, 90 degrees angle line to those. So the word cool is on this second line. So I'm still having two crossing lines. They are keeping the order of the page, and they make everything look balanced. Too many angles on the page can make your composition wonky, and it's hard to describe this feeling. You just look at it and you just want to put your finger and move something around the page if you see pages like this that are off the balance. I use the word cool. This is from one of the cut files that will be or even are right now available in the shop already. I just downsized it, and you can only cut the outlines and fill the um, inner part of the words, but I took out those lines and I had a solid design. I used Adore die set, alpha die set, to cut out the word stay. So this title is combined with stay cool, and I will be also adding and keep texting using using what I was going to say. Oh, Puffy Alphabet from Stay Super Cool Collection. And I'm also going through ephemera pack to pick elements that may work with my design. It helps me narrow down elements, and I always do something like this. I am narrowing down the elements from the collection, and then I'm picking from the group of the elements, not always using all of them. It's just something that makes my work easier. So see, this is all the elements I may be using. I also cutted out some speech bubbles and phone faces from one of the papers included into this collection. And I added few puffy stickers that also works with my theme, like thumbs up and thumbs down. Those are like online present icons. And I am arranging everything right now before I will add the second part of the title. I also found this bigger phone pretending to text in awkward situations. This is what my daughter was doing probably, and she will be doing it even more often when she will be growing older. And now I'm adding the rest of the title. I made a word stay a little bit wonky because I wanted to add this teenage craziness, not to keep everything directly in lines. And I created different angles. That's why this word stay doesn't bother me in the composition. But if I would add the second line, like, and keep texting in a different angle, it would look weird to me. Of course, I am not an expert. I am not an oracle that knows everything. You can create your own way. I'm just giving you some advices. I am teaching classes, a lot of classes, both online and live classes, and I know what my students have troubles with, and this is something I always advise them, and they always are happy with this advice and use it a lot. So I thought maybe it will be useful for you too. I added the small phone under the letters, but then I decide I don't like it. But I already added glue because I work quickly. So I had a glue stain there, which I had to cover, and I moved the phone up in the composition. And now I have to think of something to cover up the stain, but I will be back to it later. Most of the times my pages have some kind of mistake that I want to cover up, and usually it turns out much better with covering up than without it. And I'm really happy that I made a mistake and I had to be creative how to hide it. And then I came out with even better ideas that I wouldn't have even if I wouldn't mess up earlier. So messing up is good. Messing up can be very handy, friends. So don't be afraid of messing up. Don't be afraid of doing mistakes. You can always fix things up. Uh, my tongue is tied. I'm working with the composition. My base is ready, and now I'm just wandering around with elements that I know may have a good may have been good to the composition, but I don't know where to place them. So I'm just moving my hands from here to there, trying elements before I will glue them down. And I also cut out a lot of those speech bubbles, which are really kind of essence of online chatting. I don't mind the words there because I don't know what my daughter was texting about. I do not invade her privacy. I trust her. Maybe I'm not doing it good. Maybe I'm just over trusting, but I hope I raised her well. So I don't know what she was talking about. So it's just mimicking that type of conversation. I am also using those amazing cardboard stickers. I just love this product because the stickers are very thick, not like very cardboard thick, but they have this great quality and this matte finish, which is also when you take pictures of your projects. Otherwise, they appear shiny and the light reflects from them, and it's really hard to snap a decent picture of the project then. And you have so many designs to choose from, and it's really, really a nice product to have a lot of elements. I am cutting out some smaller speech bubbles from the phones that I already cut it out to use on the page, but I don't need so much of phones on this layout because I don't have a lot of free space here. So I'm not like sad that I have to cut them out. And I'm almost done. I'm just adding bits and pieces here and there. I always work this way, starting with the biggest elements and title. And when I have those sorted out, I keep on moving to the smaller and smaller elements. I do not wait till the very end before I will start gluing everything down. When I have my pictures done, I seal them. When I have the title done, I seal it. And then I move to embellishments. Otherwise, I had few times when I moved my page by accident and everything started moving around and I was so angry at me that I didn't glue it down. So now I work in phases, and when I'm not happy, I always tell myself I can rip it off and try to fix up the mistake. So I'm not worried about it. I almost finished adding embellishments. I always tend to overdoing things. I always feel like I don't have enough elements on the page. I didn't add enough of embellishments, and I keep on adding and adding and adding. And sometimes it's okay because I can see the progress. Sometimes when I watch my own process video, I tell to myself, why, girl, you didn't stop 3 steps ago? You should have done it. But well, not every page has to be perfect, and our judgment changed. So our judgment changes, so don't be hard on yourself. It's just a scrapbook page for you. I've done, I've finished, and this is how the finished page look. Here are some close-ups. Check the description box for the products I used, and thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much for keeping up with my chaotic voiceover. See you on the next video. Bye bye.